Hey everybody, Tom Barnes, stories from the 78 at Activate here in Oak Brook. And I gotta tell you, this Activate place is phenomenal. There's nothing like it, I promise you, and I say that a lot, but really, truly nothing like this. It's like you're in a video game, physically playing it yourself, but it's not VR, it's physical. You're running around, you're shooting basketballs, you're touching lights, you're trying to maneuver your way through like a Mission Impossible thing. That's what I'm gonna talk to Bryce about now here at Activate in Oak Brook. All right, so we're inside Activate right now, and look at this homage to the 80s, where the birth of like gaming as we know it really came to life. And I have my friend Bryce here to kind of help me explain what Activate is here in Oak Brook. How you doing, Bryce?
Great.
So, Activate, how many rooms are there? Because I feel like there's a few rooms, different experiences that kind of put you in, like if you were the person playing a video game, like, but in real life. It's the best way I can describe it kind of right now.
So we say that Activate is a new way to play for both adults and children. And it's a physical arcade that combines the best of video games and sports. And so here at our Oak Brook location, we have 12 different rooms. And within each room, we have up to 6 different games and up to 10 levels per game. So it's over 500 different combinations of 1 to 3 minute games that you can play.
Right, and it can really be for any age group. You know, you were talking earlier about, you know, grandparents and their grandkids, and then the parents, everybody kind of in one room doing their thing. But that's kind of the vibe here. It's not for people who are ultra competitive only, you know what I mean? Like it's for anybody who wants to come in and just have a fun afternoon or evening.
That's right, yeah. We have some games that are a little more mental and you're not having to run around. We have some that you better wear your tennis shoes for because you're going to be running and jumping and touching the wall or climbing on the climbing wall. And so it really depends on what type of experience you want to have and who you're with. Most of our games are cooperative, where you win and lose the game together, and the game being 1 to 3 minutes. But we have some that are competitive. And so if you come in and you want to compete against each other, you can also play in that mode in each of them.
Right, and so this would be great for like team building for companies or families that just want to go out and, you know, put down the screens, because they're the only screens here that you use are the ones that you type in what you're doing right before you walk into the room.
That's right, yeah. We think there's just not enough ways to play together apart from your screens. And so we think this is a way to bring people together that's physically and emotionally beneficial, helps build relationships, and is a blast. And so it's 75 minutes normal experience, and you get to choose your own adventure, coming and going between the rooms as you choose, using your RFID wristband to track your whole experience.
Right, and then you can come back and it'll keep your scores and the whole thing, you know, depending, and there's other locations, not just here in the Chicago area, but there's other locations where that's who you're competing against, right? Like, is it all over all the spots that you have?
That's correct. So there's 5 in the U.S. and 7 in Canada now, but another 7 under construction. So we have 4 under construction in the U.S., another 3 under construction in Canada, and your user profile that you create the first time will last across all locations. And so a lot of the games are similar across locations. Some of them have a one-off here or there, but they're very similar. But you get to build up your scores, build up your levels, get rewards as you climb to new levels. So it is like a video game, but it's not VR. You're physically inside the game playing with your friends and family.
Right, and then that wristlet that you're wearing there, that's kind of what you were talking about. And then this is some of the leadership board, this is the leadership board that you were speaking of, right?
Exactly, yeah. So the leaderboard tracks all the people that are in the space. You know, now that it's morning, we don't have anyone here, but in a few minutes it's going to be packed. And every month we pick the top 5 leaders from that month, top 5 scores from that month, and they're qualified to play in the Tournament of Champions in January.
Super cool.
The top 5 people from each location, from each month, come together in January to compete head-to-head for the Tournament of Champions.
This is like a new take on like arcades, but like in a different way. Like that's the vibe I feel like when I was a kid, walking to an arcade where you had all these games that you can play, but like being in it, like you're like not only you're controlling the game, but you are the game at the same time, but not VR, in person. You're physically touching things, you're physically running, bouncing around, the whole thing, shooting baskets. Like that's some of the stuff that we did.
That's right, yeah. We think it's trying to combine, like we said, the best of video games and the competing and winning and getting small wins and getting big wins and going for new levels, but adding a physical element so it's also healthy, and because that we really want to create a healthier in all aspects communities wherever we go. So we're pumped to be in Oak Brook here. We've been working on this one for a long time and we're really excited.
So the best way for people to go out and get tickets, should they do it ahead of time before they come? How does that whole thing work?
Yes, you can book online at activate.games, or you can walk in. And so walk-ins will be based on availability. So especially on weekends and nights, I would recommend booking ahead of time. During the mornings and in the afternoons on weekdays, usually you can walk in.
And how many different rooms are there?
And so we have 12 here.
12 different rooms. A lot of rooms, and you can be here up to 75 minutes. And then if you want, you got to come back in and do the whole thing. But it's a great time. This is something very unique to Chicago. I haven't seen anything quite like this. So this will be a lot of fun for a lot of families.
Awesome.
All right, that's Activate here in Oak Brook. Tom Barnes, Chicago at gmail.com. If you have a story from the 78, throw it over to me, and I'll post it at storiesfromthe78.com. Thanks a lot, everybody. Appreciate it. Take care.